Hello, people. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Man City have beaten Brentford 3-0, and they have put some extra pressure on Arsenal because at the moment, pretty much almost nothing separates the two teams, so to speak. I'm not gonna lie, because if we look at the Premier League table, they are 2 points behind, and tomorrow we must win. No room for error. Another final, so to speak. We have 4 games left, 4 finals, 3 in Premier League, 1 in Champions League, and we cannot, and I repeat, we cannot afford to lose a single game. So, today on the cards, we have the West Ham preview show. We're gonna talk about Arsenal, and we're gonna talk about how influential this could be for Arsenal, looking at it overall, long term, short term, and let's be real, as I said, no room for error. Small margins, guys, as Mikel Arteta tends to say. And let's be real, with City winning and Man City being only 2 points behind us right now, every single goddamn thing will be under scrutiny, and nothing else besides a victory is gonna work for Arsenal. So people, smash the likes if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new around here. We are slowly but steadily inching towards the 1,100, which seems absolutely insane to say the least. And leave your thoughts in the chat. What you think about the game, how you feel about everything, and how you are doing. Hope everyone's had a beautiful week, by the way. Big up Gunnar C, big up. Why do I feel we aren't winning tomorrow? I'm not gonna lie, I have a bit of the same feeling at the moment, at least. At the moment, I have a bit of the same feeling. Big up Driddly Flame, big up. Big up a City fan, big up SPO, big up. Hamas will hit you hard tomorrow. To be honest, I am very, very cautious about this game because I'm kind of caught in between two minds regarding this game specifically, because on one side of things, Arsenal should be winning this without shadow of a doubt. On the other side of things, after this Champions League game, City winning, putting extra pressure on Arsenal. Maybe we will rotate, maybe not. How focused we will be mentally after a hard-fought Champions League semi-final. Definitely there will be some questions, so to speak, because right now, as I said, no room for error, small margins, and everything is on the line. Arteta cannot screw this up. He cannot screw up the team selection. He cannot screw up the tactics. Players must be on it since the second of the game. No silly errors, no room for error. They cannot afford to make stupid passes. They cannot afford to panic. And obviously, West Ham, they're fighting for survival. Everything for them is on the line to stay up in the Premier League as well. So they will have that extra incentive as well. And the fact that they basically lost last weekend and Spurs won has played a bit of a twist to this tale, so to speak, just because if let's just say West Ham had won, maybe West Ham would be playing a bit differently, because right now they also, just like Arsenal cannot afford to lose in terms of title race, West Ham cannot afford to lose in terms of getting relegated. And even though we have done fairly decently over the last years, maybe not last year, but overall at London Stadium, still something just feels a bit iffy about this game. Obviously, for Arsenal, you could say this is the hardest game of the last remaining ones. After that, we have Burnley at home and the Crystal Palace away. And if we win, I will have some sort of certainty that we're going to win the league. Some sort of let's be real, I will have some strong beliefs and hopes. If we get a draw or a loss, God forbid, oh my goodness gracious, will it be hella nerve-wracking. I'm not going to lie. So tomorrow, everything will be up for grabs, so to speak. We're about to thump relegation fodder. It's a wrap. Should be, 100%. I'm not arguing with you. It should be. But many times, what's the biggest issue with me personally about Arsenal? When I have this type of chest and belief in Arsenal that we're going to thump them, we're going to destroy them, we should be smashing them 3-0, 4-0, Arsenal tend to do the straight opposite, ironically enough, because we had the same about against Southampton 3 years ago, against Luton Town a few years back. This season we have had that as well about Wolves, and we have seen how that has worked out. So I'm not gonna lie, I am a tiny bit cautious, but there is no question in my mind that we should be beating them. But will we do it? That is the big question for tomorrow. Yeah, another London derby. Another London derby. Big up, hype protagonist. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Hope you're doing well. At Hammers Stadium, every team will go hit by hard hammers. This is not Hammers away. True, but Arsenal, to be honest, in last few seasons, obviously excluding last season, let's just say, have done fairly well against them. That is the ironic part, and West Ham have done quite decently against us at the Emirates, which is quite weird if we're looking from that point of view. But at this stage of the season, at this point of the season, the form doesn't matter. Previous stats don't matter. The current situation, expectations, and circumstances only matter. And the circumstances are that both teams have injuries. One team is fighting for the title, cannot afford to lose or drop points. The other team is fighting not to get relegated, and they also cannot afford to lose points. They cannot afford to lose, and it's gonna be very nerve-wracking game. And obviously, when it's a very nerve-wracking game, Arsenal tend to make very silly errors. We have seen that. Arsenal have this weird tendency when we play these relegation lower-end side teams to drop their levels, to become un-Arsenal, so to speak. They start to screw up simple passes. They panic under the pressure. They make silly errors, which lead up to very dangerous chances. That is something I want to be contained tomorrow, because, as I said, tomorrow's game could actually, to a degree, decide how nerve-wracking it will be for the rest of the season. So we'll see how this is gonna go, because obviously Man City has, on paper, tougher schedule than Arsenal. Obviously, on paper they do. In reality, it will be a bit different story, because obviously for Arsenal, Burnley, we should be beating them without shadow of doubt. Let's be honest. But against Crystal Palace as well, they are in Conference League final. The Conference League final is only a few days after the Premier League ends. So there's a possibility that Glasner actually could rotate some players and rest some players. Man City, on the other hand, they're going to play Palace at Etihad, right? So it used to be a bit of a banana peel game for them at times. At the same time, they should be getting the job done without shadow of a doubt. I fully expect them to win it. Bournemouth away, though, that is a game where definitely I can see Bournemouth having issues. Man City having issues. So we'll see how that's going to go, because Bournemouth at the moment fighting for Europe is a very tough cookie to crack. And we have seen that firsthand. And obviously, the last game of the season for Man City at the Etihad is against Aston Villa, and it's on May 24th, right? May 24th. Europa League final is on May 20th, so it's gonna be very interesting how that's gonna play into those hands as well. Scared money don't make money. True. High risk, high reward. If you don't take risks, you're not going to get rewarded for them. The reason why I put money on us 3 times to win the league at the beginning of the season, after City beating Chelsea and us, defined margins in our favor. True, we have been quite lucky. There's no shadow of a doubt throughout the season. The small margins, as you put it, right, have gone our way as well. There are no questions about it. We have no red cards. We have been very disciplined. We have gone the upper hand more often than not. Let's be honest. And as I touched upon it about the luck, right? The luck has favored us most of the time. It also won't happen every single time. At some point, the luck has to run out. Like, Arsenal are not a cat with 9 lives. Arteta also is not a cat with 9 lives, even though it seems that way. The luck could be running out. And if that happens at this stage of the season, it actually could be quite insane, to say the least. You covered the press conference that are available, barring our Timber Marino there indefinitely. True, I haven't covered press conference yet. I'm gonna do this during the stream, hopefully, depending on how the stream goes. Obviously, did the Wolves, Southampton, Brentford not humiliate Arsenal earlier? Southampton beat us in the cup. Yes, I fully agree with that. Brentford, it was a tough game, but Arsenal have done fairly well against Brentford. Obviously, Wolves, that has been the biggest issue here. Arsenal drew against Brentford and Arsenal beat Brentford. Similar like with Wolves, Arsenal beat Wolves at home at Emirates, where Wolves scored, 3 goals and still lost 2-1 somehow. Ironic. Yet in away game at the Molineux, Arsenal were 2-0 up at halftime and managed to draw the game 2-2. And this is very similar to what happened in 22-23 season. Arsenal were 8 points clear, and we were playing against already relegated Southampton, who we beat, and then we drew against them. So there are quite a bit of similarities in that regard, but I would like to think that Arsenal are in a different mindset. They have learned from these mistakes. Arteta has learned from his mistakes. But then again, almost 6.5 years into the process, Arteta is still making the same mistakes he made in the first day. So there are quite a bit of question marks. And I definitely agree with this statement that everything could be decided tomorrow. I will not say as much as it will be decided tomorrow, but quite a bit could be decided tomorrow, because if Arsenal lose, then City just have to win all the games and they have won the league. So if you look from that perspective, 100%, Arsenal cannot afford to slip up. City still will have that game in hand, which they're going to play on Wednesday against Palace midweek, right? So Arsenal cannot afford any errors. If Arsenal draw points and City win the rest of the games, we are done. We are absolutely cooked to the maximum degree. And that is something I don't want to see. And ironically enough, I don't want to talk about losing the league because we haven't won it as well at the moment, although in a way it's our league to lose, so to speak, right? But if we somehow, in some weird goddamn way, what if scenarios and all that stuff, right? If we lose the league, I much rather lose it on points than on goal difference, because then it's gonna be insufferable. Big up Godfrey. I'm good. I'm very tired, but I'm good. Hope you're doing well. Big up Revolutionary Pod. Hope you're doing well. City fans living in pure cope. To be honest, we are doing the same thing until we win the league, physically and realistically and mathematically. We are still coping, no matter how you look at it. Congratulations, Man City. I surrender. I'm not surrendering yet. I'm still gonna go into the fight and everything, but it is a bit of a rough one, I'm not gonna lie. Relegation form, West Ham are going to suddenly wake up. That it seems a bit preposterous, right? That at this stage of the season, these type of games bring out the weirdest stuff. We have seen this before, that random teams out of nowhere play like gods against the top of the table. We have seen it before. It has happened to Man City. It has happened to Arsenal. It has happened to United. In Fergie days, it has happened to Liverpool. Under Klopp, it has happened before. So in Premier League specifically, you cannot write anyone off, and you cannot be also very cocky and have this chest when you have nothing to basically back it up with, so to speak. We haven't won the league, so in a way we have no trophies, experience in that regard to back it up with. We don't have these X Factor type players, match winners that can take the game by the scruff of its neck and carry us on the line like Alexis Sanchez used to do. So we need to be a bit cautious as well, because if it bites us in the ass, it's gonna bite us in the ass so hard that it's gonna be pure coma settings, so to speak. If we start fast, we blow West Ham out the war, 100%. So it's crucial we get early goal like we did versus Fulham and Newcastle. Early goal, first 10-15 minutes, ideal scenario for Arsenal, 100%. However, the longer it stays 0-0, a draw of any way, to be honest, if Arsenal score quickly, they concede quickly on anything. The longer it stays as a draw, the more it's gonna favor West Ham, no matter how you look at it, because the nerves are gonna sell in and everything. Arsenal will sit back a bit on some occasions. They're gonna invite the pressure, and let's be real, they have some finishers. Mavropanos has been sublime for them the last 2-3 months. Souček has been on fire for them as well in the last few months. Like, they have good players. It's very weird. For example, for me personally, West Ham is one of those teams that they have a team that should be upper mid-table, top 10 team, right? They should be fighting for Europe, maybe, but they should be at least like 10 to 7th, right? In that bracket. But they never managed to put it together. Even if they sell well, they don't sign the right players. Even if they sign right, they cannot pull it together to be a proper team. And it somehow West Ham is in a very weird situation with me over the last years. And if they put it together, they can be very dangerous. We should have been Wolves, Forest, Sunderland, Liverpool, but we couldn't even do that. Yeah, we should have even been like, that's the nuts part. City were there for the taking at Emirates as well, based on their form. But Arsenal decided to play like cowards. Arteta set up us like cowards. And it took us a 99 late game equalizer from Martinelli to even get a draw. So there are drawbacks to this, that Arsenal in these situations tend to screw this up. We lost the league when we drew to Sunderland and Wolves. We'll see. If we lose the league, those draws against Wolves, especially from being 2-0 up, the draw against Sunderland, even Liverpool games, to be honest, especially at the Emirates one, where we drew and everything, they're going to be looked at as losses, without shadow of a doubt. We haven't won the league, sure, but we've been better West Ham teams than this before. Why can't we be confident? No, I'm not saying we can't. I'm not saying I'm super confident, because Arsenal PTSD for over the course of the last 20 plus years since the last time we won the league, for me, is a very real thing. I'm not going to get carried away until we actually properly win the league, because I have seen Arsenal fail so many times on the last hurdle against a team that should be basically dealt with one leg tied behind our back, so to speak, metaphorically, right? That I'm not taking any unnecessary risks. We have seen this happen in Premier League, in Europa League, in Champions League, mind you, in FA Cup, in Carabao Cup. We have seen it everywhere. So I'm not gonna get carried away until I see it happening. Like, I'm just gonna be real. West Ham United at home is not finished Fulham away. Yeah, true. West Ham at home is very decent as well. Let me check this. West Ham home record in 25-26 season. This season, West Ham at home has 5 wins, 4 draws, and 8 losses. And ironically enough, pretty much every single loss has been suffered last year. Seriously. Well, January 6th was the last loss. Since then, since January 6th, they have played 6 home games, 3 wins, 3 draws. They have drawn against Sunderland. They beat Sunderland. They drew against United. They drew against Bournemouth. They drew against Man City, mind you. They won against Wolves, and they won against Everton. So definitely, it's gonna be a rough one. I better not see all the Guardians of the say, 100%. I better not see that as well. I don't want to see Captain No-Show Guard tomorrow in the 11 at all. Big up Vigilante Gaming. Hope you're doing well today, brother. Hope everything's fine in your world and people. If you haven't already, go subscribe to Vigilante Gaming. Go subscribe to Vigilante Sports. If you can, Vigilante, put your links in the chat as well so people can go support you. And whilst you're at it as well on this channel, don't forget to hit the like and don't forget to subscribe. We probably would have won by now if Martinelli was Brazilian. This proves that he ain't Brazilian. Martinelli definitely has cost us a few points, just like Havertz has. Like in this team specifically, there isn't a single player who hasn't missed a big chance that could have swayed the game one way or the other. Without shadow of a doubt, there hasn't been a single player. So, but that's football. If football was perfect, it would be very boring to watch. Hence why these type of small errors, small misses, or big misses, metaphorically speaking, or some injuries, some mistakes, some certain circumstances and everything, that's what makes football great. No, in that regard. Unfortunately, I know we lost against those teams, lesser teams before, but once we beat West Ham and Burnley, it's over. Yeah, 100%. If we beat West Ham tomorrow, I will be quite confident that we're going to win the league, because Burnley at home should be a freebie. I'm gonna get clipped up if that goes wrong. I know that, but it is what it is. And Crystal Palace away as well. Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. 3 days later, they have the Conference League final. Would not be surprised if Glasner wants to leave in a high with a European trophy, something that Crystal Palace has never experienced. So they definitely could be resting some players. So again, that will be in favor of Arsenal because Arsenal's Champions League final is 1 week after the Premier League ends. So there are lots of variables in this. Lots and lots of variables that are playing into this. Big up the invisible man. I'm a City fan, but I'm supporting you, Hamas tomorrow. Like, come on. Let's be real. Quite a few Arsenal fans today were hoping, let's be honest, that Brentford are going to do something against you a lot. Even though Brentford's away record is quite not the greatest, they still were hoping. Right? So it goes both ways. Let's just put it that way. Smash the likes, people. Exactly. Oh, all good, man. All good, man. All good. It was my first call-in show yesterday, by the way. First call-in show I've ever done. I'm planning to do more ones. So if you are ready to maybe jump on the stream at some points, you need a camera, you need a microphone, and all this stuff. You know the deal. Big up Manny for joining on. Big up Kwame yesterday for joining the stream as well, jumping onto the call-in show. It was a blast. First time ever doing it. It was great. I'm not gonna lie. Don't forget his Hyun-Min Son, like a shot against Brentford keeper too. I remember still like a few years back when quite a few Arsenal fans were sitting in the Spurs jerseys pretty much and chanting for Spurs players, supporting them, cheering them on, and hoping that Son scores that 1v1 versus Ortega. Remember that? Like chanting "Go Sonny, go" and all this stuff, like North London forever and all that business, you know. And here are Vigilante's links: Vigilante Gaming and Vigilante Talk Sport. 2 great channels, 2 great content channels. So people go subscribe to him, show him some support and some love as well. We officially lost the league when we lost to Bournemouth. What do you mean by that? Seriously, what do you mean by that? The whole league is supporting West Ham tomorrow. I wouldn't say the whole league, but I would say most of the league. Let's just put it that way, because the whole league kind of includes Arsenal, technically speaking. So it's a bit rough. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, no matter how you look at it, it's very interesting how football works, isn't it? Because in the beginning of the season, quite a few Arsenal fans were screaming that we're going to win the quad, and City looked like they're going to win nothing. At the moment, Arsenal look like they could win Champions League or Premier League, and City, well, actually, they can win the domestic treble, ironically enough. So, like, it's all up for grabs, no matter how you look at it. It's all up for grabs. Yeah, the highest level of football is a game on fine margins. I think people neglect that. Yeah, it definitely is like that, and I think people also overlook sometimes the psychological, mental aspects of the game, because it could definitely influence certain players to a degree that it makes one rash decision, it's a red. That team is instantly a disadvantage. It could definitely, for the whole game, it could influence a player randomly, which you did not expect in the first place. So definitely, it's a very, very rough situation, and people need to sometimes look a bit more closer to these type of instances, because being physically ready is one thing, but are you mentally ready? That's a completely different thing. Because as my coach used to tell me every single time, as he always taught me this, and it has stuck with me with everything I do with life. And it's not just about sports, that before you start doing something, or if it's more about sports, obviously, right? But if before a game you even think about drawing, that draw would be a good result, or losing, it wouldn't be just bad, we still have a game in hand or something like that, you already have lost the game. Because mentally, you have accepted that it's okay to lose. But that's not how world works. You cannot accept a loss. You need to fight. You need for survival. Because if you have already accepted the chance that you might lose, there is no chance in hell you're going to give 100% or 110%. So you need to be mentally switched on and fully on it. Big up, Bammy. Big up. Are you sure Man City going to win their remaining games and Arsenal won't? I'm not sure. But I'm also not sure that Arsenal are going to win all the games. I'm not sure Arsenal won't. I'm not sure City will. Like, it goes both ways. Like, no matter how you look at it. Now we ain't hoping for City to mess up. They balled against Everton. We win, we champs. More confident I can be. Exactly. For me, the way I look at it, as long as we do our job, which means winning every single game from now till the rest of the season, we're golden. We should not be in any type of situation where we would need to rely on other teams to do us favors. Because based on how this season has gone, we should be 12, 13 points clear if we actually were on it. But somehow we have allowed for City to get back into the game, get back into this position, get back into the title race. Big up Promise. Big up Promise. Hope you're doing well today, brother. Big up Kwame. Big up Kwame. Thank you for jumping on the stream yesterday for the first call-in show. It was a pleasure to having you on. Big up, bro. City won't throw in the towel. West Ham won't give us any chance. We definitely need to win. Exactly. A win tomorrow is a must with no questions asked. No room for error. No nothing. Win by any means necessary. For all I care, if Bowen is one-on-one, 85th, 86th minute, do what Valverde did against Morata about 8-9 years ago when he just wiped him out, take the red card, play with 10 men, park the bus for the last 10 minutes. Just do it. Any means necessary. Don't care. We definitely lost the Premier League title at home to Bournemouth. Like, there are multiple moments we can pinpoint throughout the course of the season, basically, where we have lost the league, if we lose the league. At the moment, I don't think we have lost the league. I still believe we are the favorites to win it. We just have to do it, because being the favorites and actually proving that you are the favorites, two different type of things. Because one you have to do on the pitch, one is basically a statistics at the end of the day, right? It's some maths and some numbers. So I still believe we can do it. Will we do it? That's up to the team and up to them, right? But no matter how you look at it, tomorrow it's going to be rough. The crowd is going to be on it without shadow of a doubt. They're fighting for their lives to stay up. Obviously, on Monday, Leeds play against Spurs as well. So there is everything to play for both teams, no matter how you look at it. And ironically enough, for any of those teams, nothing besides a win does it. Nothing. Both teams need a win desperately, no matter how you look at it. Arsenal needed for the title race. West Ham needed to stay up. So or to stay in the relegation race, not to get relegated. So there is everything to play for at the maximum stakes for both teams. So tomorrow, technically, it should be a cracking game. 1-0 to the Arsenal from here on out. We need no one else's help. Exactly. Do what you have to do to win the game. For all I care, stink out the gaff like you have done previously for the most of the season. Win it 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. Don't give a damn. Just get the 3 points on the board. That's all I care about at this stage of the season. Because specifically at this part, in the last 8 games or so, it doesn't matter how you play, as long as you get the 3 points on the board. Because when it comes to crunch time, everything is being pushed to the max and being tested. And you have to prove that you are worth it, that you wanna, and you have to prove it how badly you want it. And let's be real, if there's someone who wants it more than you, it's gonna basically be shown on the pitch. Big up, Kwame. Much appreciate that from bottom of my heart. Thank you. Exactly. Don't matter how we do it, just win. And that's the only thing we're asking for right now. If throughout the course of the season, yes, we were sitting here and talking that play style was not sustainable. Like, it's gonna be very rough. I'm sick and tired of watching this. I want to see some attacking football and all this stuff. Right? Right now, for all I care, play that style. For all I care, play that style every single second of the game, as long as you get the 3 points on the board, no matter how you do it. Ironically, but the sad part is we should not be even in this position, but we somehow are. I'm going 2-1 to the Arsenal. Yeah, I personally, for me, I'm jumping the gun a tiny bit with predictions here, but I'm also was leaning towards 2-1 Arsenal. I was leaning towards it. We have been solid, and we have to be solid. Exactly, at the end of the day. But with the opponents we have, we can play good football and win, but getting the win is more important. Exactly. Exactly. With the opponents we need to face these remaining games, we can play good football and we can beat them. Right? But if we play good football, it subjects us and makes us more prone to counterattacks, to dangerous situations, and potential conceding goals. Right? And let's be real. It's something we don't want to do it, because if we go 1-0 down quickly, it's gonna be hell. It's gonna be a hell of a game, and it's gonna be like going through a mean grinder. And every single mistake we're gonna make while trying to get that goal back could lead us to going 2 goals down. And then, well, it could be at the end of the day all she wrote. It could be the end of days. Let's just put it that way. Big up, Idrissa. Big up. From Rwanda, where visit comes from. Big up. Visit Rwanda, and all that. See, Idrissa is saying Arsenal are going to win 2-0. And I'm not surprised. David Raya has won the Golden Glove. And I'm not surprised that people also would be predicting clean sheets for Arsenal. I would not be surprised at all. For me, I'm just looking at this. I think that West Ham could nick a set piece, like a corner or something. Mavropanos from set pieces in the recent times has been quite fantastic, to say the least. They play very solid, very compact football. Espirito Santo is not doing a great job, but he's doing a decent job. Let's just put it that way. But we'll see. We'll see. Because personally, for me, obviously, I would like West Ham to stay up. I'm just going to put it that way. Much rather Spurs go down than West Ham. And that is not because they are my rivals with Spurs and North London and all this crap. But that's just my preference in general, right? At the same time, well, I trust more in De Zerbi and Spurs to actually play some proper football and stay up than I trust in Espirito Santo and West Ham to secure to play it safe and somehow keep staying up there. Let's just put it that way. I'm going 3-0 Arsenal. Also, would be a fantastic result. Also, would pump up the goal difference. Meek Mill, I used to play 4 times like this, and I'm pagan. Can't wait to see your reaction tomorrow night. It's in the bag. We're about to be Premier League champions. Hope so. I absolutely hope we're going to be the Premier League champions. It's been long overdue. Over the course of the last 22 years, we have been about 5-6 times in a position where we should have won the league, and we haven't. And it still hurts. Hence why the PTSD is very strong as an Arsenal fan, because we have been this close to winning the league, this close to winning something, and we have fallen short. Hence why I don't have the chest. I'm not going to pretend like I have some sort of a chest when we haven't won anything major in 20 plus years. I just cannot have that. I have some self-respect, so to speak. Big up, Ozzy Ange, big up. Big win for City today. Statement win, exactly. Imagine Arsenal draw tomorrow. If they do, will Arsenal ball it? And that is the biggest worry, because Man City play midweek against Palace. And if Arsenal draw tomorrow, and God forbid they lose tomorrow, by midweek, we could be second in the league. Because, well, goal difference, first things first. And City have it better. And even if it's the same goal difference, City has it over us. So City are going to go on top. If Arsenal draw or lose, and City basically beats Crystal Palace midweek, we're going to be second. And that is something I don't want to see with 2 games to go. At all. Leeds 2-0 Tottenham. Hopefully, I'm loving Leeds, and I hope they stay up for the longest time. Big up Handel. Big up Handler. Interesting things are happening. Yeah, very interesting and very, very worrying as well. Big up, man up. Big up. Would you take 1-0 win? Hey, I would take 1-0 penalty win. 1-0 own goal win for the last 3 games of the season. And I don't give a damn. Because as long as Arsenal win all 3 games, we are the champions. City can't touch us. The only way City can touch us is if we start dropping points, if we screw up, if we basically slip. That is the only way City can catch us up. And if we win 1-0 every single game, I don't care if the goalkeeper throws the ball in his own net, if they start scoring on goals or whatever happens. I genuinely don't give a damn as long as we win. For me, at this stage of the season, in this current situation, 3 points above anything else. I'm not gonna lie. I think we can all agree that it doesn't matter how Arsenal wins the title as long as it wins. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Does not matter how they do it. It just matters that they do it at this stage of the season. We have come this far, and if we ball it from here with 3 games to go, like, I don't even know. I genuinely don't know. We must stop Bowen. The boy is the threat. Yeah. We must stop Bowen in open play. We must stop also Mavropanos from set pieces in general. Because that guy, ex-Arsenal, by the way, he has been on it. He has been on it. Let's just put it that way. He has been on it big time. And that, for me, is another player that could decide the game no matter how you look at it. He definitely could be that type of an X-factor player. Because the games where West Ham actually have done great, where they have won, for example, right? In the draw against City a month and a half ago, he was man of the match. He scored the tying goal. Against Wolves, the win at home a month ago, he scored 2 goals. He was man of the match. Against Palace in a 0-0 draw, he was one of the best players. Against Everton in the win, he was one of the best players as well. Against Brentford, obviously, they lost 3-0. He scored an own goal. He scored also a goal, but it was ruled offside. He has been on it. So we must be careful. Because Arsenal from set pieces, they at least scoring from set pieces, direct set pieces, not playing them short, it has dried up. Defensively from set pieces, we can do the job, but we tend to have, I don't know whether it's a lack of focus, whether it's a lack of direction, but we sometimes tend to be confused. For me, it feels that way. With some ball drops into the box, and then it's panic settings. You just close your eyes, cross your fingers, and hope they don't get the bounce, and then they don't bang in the back of the net. Let's just put it that way. It's very, 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 very stressful times, so to speak. Let's just put it that way. I know our PTSD as well, but in the same breath, you can never tell me that this season specifically that there aren't pressure to win anything. That's a lie. Changes would have been made. See, you say that, but then Fabrizio Romano comes out and says that Arsenal are gonna offer Mikel Arteta a new contract despite the results. That decision was made in March, and the new contract doesn't matter if we win or lose something. He would still get a new contract offer. So that leads me to believe that though the changes are just an imaginary thing. Let's just put it that way. Because if you trust, like, you cannot trust let's be real, you cannot trust these news outlets because they don't say the truth many times, right? No matter how you look at it, they don't say the truth many times, or they just phrase it so it looks fashionable. Let's just say it as it is, right? But if you look at statements like these, where Arsenal are planning to give Arteta a new contract, the plan already decided in March. Yes, March, when the wheels started to fall off, and it would be regardless of end of the season results. Just leads me to believe that despite the offer is gonna come, despite if we win anything or we don't win anything. If we don't win anything, he gets a new offer. If he win, he definitely is gonna get a new offer. So I don't know. The changes are, I don't think those changes that got talked about in November, December, and maybe a bit as well in February. Yellow pages. Let's be real. Yellow pages. In my opinion, if Arteta doesn't win anything, he has to go. Right? If he wins one of the majors, he gets one more year. Right? To go again for the same and the other big trophies and rest of them that are FA Cups and Carabao Cups. But yeah, bro, it's broken to lose at least 3 games when you are leading the league the entire season. I hope not. I hope we don't. I absolutely hope we don't lose it. Zidane came out yesterday stating that Barcelona team of 0908 is on similar level to this Arsenal team. That's a big disrespect to the Barcelona team. Disrespect to football in general. What do you mean on the same level? How is this even a thing? So you literally are gonna sit here, you're gonna waffle, let's just put it that way, about this Barcelona 08-09 team, and you actually gonna tell me that, and we're gonna go through this because stuff like this really, really pisses me off, that Arsenal are on the same level as this team of Victor Valdez, Puyol, Milito, Rafa Marquez, Gerard Piqué, who else played? Abidal, Salvinho, Dani Alves, Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta, Yaya Toure. Even Keita was a bit underrated. Thiago Alcantara, Alexander Hlebek, ex-Arsenal, Nolito, Lionel Messi, Pedro, Samuel Eto'o, Titi, and Eidur Gudjohnsen. You want to tell me that this Arsenal team is on the same level as that Barcelona team? Seriously? You want to tell me that that team is on the same level? And they won the La Liga, Copa del Rey, and the Champions League. So they won the treble, basically. And after that, they won the Spanish Super Cup, UEFA Super Cup, and FIFA Club World Cup, which basically means they won the sextuple, 6 trophies in that year. So Arsenal are on the same level. So where are Arsenal's 6 trophies then? Like, come on, what are we doing here? What nonsense is that? Like, come on, man. Yeah, a coworker told me that if Arsenal doesn't win anything this year, they will not win for another 10 years. Sounds harsh, but that is the nuts part. Like, that actually is to a degree too. Because let's be real, the window of opportunity to win something at any given sport is very small, right? You have your chance unexpectedly, the window starts to open, then the window is open, you have few years, 2, 3, maybe 4 years, best case scenario, when you are in your peak and your best chance, and then the window slowly starts to shut down until it's closed, right? Then you have to rebuild, redo, remake. You need few years to basically start from the beginning, technically speaking, right? And then you can start trying that again. I kind of feel that with Arsenal, with all these injuries, with all these situations that are happening, the window is closing. The window is starting to close, and we might not get too many greater chances after that. Because if we win, it's gonna spiral in like an avalanche, and it's gonna set us in upward spiral. If we don't, it's gonna do the same avalanche snowfall effect, just gonna send us in a negative spiral, unfortunately. We ain't born yesterday. I ain't trusting that. The pressure was there. Managerial changes would have been made just because the positions we in now can alter words. It is definitely 100%. It is definitely. And looking at how Rennes Slegers won last year the Women's Champions League and everything, definitely, I definitely don't. But at the same time, would you be surprised that Kroenkes would give him a new deal despite everything? Because with this team specifically, under this manager specifically, the money that is coming into this club is absolutely, in words of Barney Stinson, legend. Wait for it. Legendary. And let's not forget the infamous Stan Kroenke quote. I didn't buy Arsenal stake to win trophies. So would you actually be surprised that if Arteta wins absolutely nothing, if that would have been the case, or would be the case, that he does not get that he does get a new deal? Would you actually be surprised? Like, it's actually insane in my opinion. Big up Eras, big up Mikel Music in the building. Exactly. 0908 Barcelona, that's just different levels to everything. Exactly. We are 6 trophies in one season. Come on, who's saying this? Exactly. We saw Tottenham's window open and then close. Yeah. For every team is like that. It's even for City, their window open and it's closed. It was closed. At the moment it is closing or opening, it's very hard to tell, but they are there somewhere. Liverpool had their shot. They got it. Now look at them. Like, it was United had their massive window, to be honest, for the longest time, and now it's shut completely for quite a while. For Chelsea, it's the same case. Like, in a very competitive leagues and in sports and situations, that it is like that. Don't take to heart what our own fans say about comparisons to other teams. We live in an age where people antagonize others for a living, targeting weak-minded people. Yeah, they do that. I'm not taking that to heart. But nonsense like that is absolutely insane, even to hear in the same realm. Just to compare Arsenal to those type of great teams. Arsenal cannot even win 2 trophies in one season. And we get compared to teams that win 6 in one. Come on, man. Yeah, they cannot argue with that one. A coworker told me that if Arsenal doesn't win anything this year, this will... Yeah. The Kroenkes are a disgrace, are following Arteta. And it's going to be a big one as well, most likely around 20 million or something, isn't it? It's going to be a massive contract, to say the least. It's going to be a very, very big contract. I'm not going to lie. So, I don't want to be that guy, but we know it will be depressing if Arsenal doesn't win again, considering they are a 5-star team as well. It's going to be very depressing. If we, I don't even want to think about it. Let this season end. Let's see how it plays out. Then we can discuss, be pissed off, be super happy, whatever stems from that, right? And everything. But hey, I don't want... Yeah, I get it. Internet is acting up. Yeah, I absolutely get it. What about the quad sack, dude? Like, in the beginning of the season, Arsenal, some of fans said that we're gonna win the quad, and everyone was laughing at City that they're gonna go trophyless. Now look at this. City have won a trophy before Arsenal. City are on for domestic treble. Yes, Arsenal are on for 2 majors, but we still have to do its job. Big up, Elbow. Big up. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Hope everything's fine with you and everything is fine in your world. Dude, that quad talk was that, like, it was insane actually to see how this fan base absolutely coped, changed the narratives, and devolved, so to speak. It went from quad to treble to double, then to trouble, and all of a sudden we're gonna do the double again. Like, it's actually insane, to be honest. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, over to us tomorrow. City have put an extra pressure on us, 100%, so we'll see how that's gonna go. City have put an extra pressure on us. We'll see how everything is gonna develop and how that's gonna go. Big up, TJ. Big up, TJ Warren, for the raid. Big up, my guy. Thank you so much for the raid, people. Sorry, TJ. Hope you're doing well this beautiful day. Hope everything's fine in your world. The sun is shining and everything is rosy and rainbows and unicorns and everything. But yeah, big up to you people. If you haven't already, go subscribe to TJ Warren. Here is the link. Here is the link, people. Go drop him some love. Go drop him some appreciation. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Here is his link, people. Go show him some love. Is everybody available for tomorrow? Sir, did he say anything in the presser? He said that there are no new fresh injuries. He said that there are no new fresh injuries, and then Odegaard and Merino. Well, not Odegaard. What I'm talking about, Timber and Merino are out. Right? So go figure. Go figure. You know how Arteta does these things, don't you? I also believe Arsenal can win the Champions League, but this is really ugly PSG side, cold-blooded, ditched the super strong Bayern Munich side. Yeah, PSG showed against Bayern Munich that they can play super demolishing attacking football, and they can also shut it down. And I'm not saying they're gonna park the bus, but they can dig deep between the lines and not allow the other team to do anything. They showed the both sides of the spectrum that they can do. And against Arsenal, you need to have those two sides. Big up, Hendon. Big up. No excuses tomorrow. I don't care. West Ham are fighting relegation. We need to win. If I hear any excuses from top Gunners, bro, they're gonna be excuses. You cannot escape that. Oh, definitely. There is a way of beating PSG. Technically speaking, obviously, I've seen Arsenal fans say that Arsenal have a better team right now because when we played them last year, Gabriel was out and all this stuff, right? We didn't have Gyökeres. PSG had Donnarumma, who was making some wild saves. Now they have Safonov, Chevalier. I think Safonov in goal, so he's not as good and everything. But I'm not too sure about that one. Yeah, Arsenal have it all in their hands. As long as we win all 3 games, we are the champions. Let's be real. Everything is up for the taking, and Arsenal must win all 3 games. If Arsenal in any situation are gonna be in a position where we will need, again, to rely on our opposition to help us, basically, to rely on another team, that just shows that we are screwing up big time, once again. And we cannot afford to drop points as well. Because tomorrow, if we draw or lose, by Wednesday, we can be second in the league. Because if City beat Crystal Palace midweek on Wednesday, I think it is at 8 p.m., we're going to go second in the league. So there is no room for error at all. In a 4-2-3-1, Avs beat their press, passing through the lines. Best way doing, keeping the team from it. Yeah. Your starting lineup, same as the last 2 fixtures. I would start Hincapie as a left back. I would start definitely Hincapie as a left back if it's an option, since he didn't play during the week. Well, not as much. He didn't start during the week, right? I would play Hincapie. Well, our next game is in a week, actually, so we can basically put out. We can put out technically some of our best players, so to speak. We can definitely put out some very good players, so we should not be as worried about certain things at all. Let's just put it that way. Obviously, we still need to squad manage to try and avoid injuries before these final 4 games. But yeah, I would start definitely Gyökeres and players like that, but we'll see. One thing I will tell you this much. I don't want to see Odegaard and Zubimendi starting till the end of the season at all. Those 2 and Havertz, those 3 players, I don't want to see starting for Arsenal till the end of the season. Big up DG2. Big up DG2. Hope you're doing well today, brother. More forward passing. If Odegaard plays, oh yeah, then it could be Peakham's. It definitely could be Peakham's. Arsenal has 3 easy last games, which is good. Exactly. But we know that as Arsenal does against weak teams such as Bournemouth, Sunderland, or Championship Southampton, or Wolves as well, and everything. Yeah, that for me is the biggest worry here. People tend to forget somehow that Arsenal playing against the bigger teams, it's not an issue for them. Arsenal playing against these type of teams, that is the real issue for Arsenal. And that's why I am somewhat cautious with this. I'm having my reservations about this. And since for both teams everything is on the line tomorrow, neither of the teams can afford to lose. A draw or a loss is a worst case scenario for each of them. Definitely, it's gonna be a very interesting and nuts game. And Skelly is the one to start more forward. Yeah, 100%. Don't allow time for PSG to regroup. True. But let's not worry about PSG right now. PSG game is in what? 22 days. We need to focus on solely on Premier League right now. We have 3 games left. We need 3 wins. We need 9 points. And that will be one glorious day. Let's be real. That will be one glorious day. So, people, what are your predictions for tomorrow? Because tomorrow it's gonna be another final. It's gonna be a war, so to speak. I'm very curious to see how that is gonna develop and how that is gonna go. Very, very interesting. So, time only will tell. Time only will tell. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, it's as you said, it is so broken the situation. We can only wait and see, either be pissed and complain or celebrate. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing in between, because no way how you look at it. There is it's either gonna be sunshine, daisies, barflies, and birds chirping, or it's gonna be thunderstorm, rainstorm, snowstorm, and everything. It's gonna be either or. There is gonna be no in between. There's gonna be nothing in between that. At Arsenal, only play 1 game a week now till the end of the season. Yeah, which seems fantastic. We could actually get some rest for a change, isn't it? We need 3 wins, exactly. We have 4 games left this season, 3 in Premier League, 1 in Champions League. We need 4 wins. No questions asked. 3 in Premier League, 1 in Champions League. That means we win Premier League and Champions League. Will we be able to do so? That is the big question. Handler is saying 1-0 for Arsenal or a draw 1-1. Interesting. Either Arsenal win or they're gonna draw. And let's be real, the draw is one of the worst case scenarios. West Ham 0, Arsenal 3. Very confident prediction from Hendon. Albo is saying 2-1 Arsenal. It's not gonna be a blowout because West Ham will fight. Oh, they're gonna be fighting tooth and nail, to say the least. Either a win or a draw tomorrow. Please let us win. See, many people are very, very cautious. They are predicting either a 1-goal win or a draw. And that is the biggest worry, because draw or a loss, obviously, in this scenario means that that just means that on Wednesday 13th at 10 p.m. UK time, midnight my time, if Arsenal draw or lose tomorrow, it just means that there's a big possibility Arsenal by that time are going to be second in the league. Because we're going to be 3 points ahead if we draw. Right? We're going to be 3 points ahead if we draw. And City, if they win, they will have better goal difference, which means they're going to go on top by default, unfortunately. And that is one of the biggest issues here. Always positive Eros says 2-1 West Ham. By the way, he supports Washington Wizards, so don't take this prediction seriously. But also Arsenal has easy 3 last. Yeah. They can end it. It can end in incredible glory, without shadow of a doubt. We have easier 3 games than Man City, with no questions asked. Interestingly enough, the Europa League final is 4 days before Villa play Man City in Premier League on the last game week. Ironically enough, that is something nuts, if you ask me. They play Europa League final before they play Man City in the league. However, Crystal Palace, they played their final against Rayo Vallecano 3 days after they play Arsenal on the last game week of the season. Somehow it feels kind of backwards, doesn't it? Yeah, please win. Please. I hope Arsenal get the dub. I do too. Without shadow of doubt, I'm praying we get the dub, because if we don't, oh my god, oh my goodness gracious. Getting the 4 wins would be the dream, without shadow of a doubt. We need to channel inner City to win these 4 games. Thing is, to channel inner City, you need to have the mentality like City. And that is going to be put to the test this week until the end of the season, to the maximum extent. Show some winning mentality. Yeah, show some. Show winning mentality. Show that you have ambitions. You are ready to take the next step in your lives, in club's life, and everything by taking it over the line and winning it. What hampers Arsenal the most? The team sitting back. I will suit Arsenal if West Ham attack. But do you think West Ham is going to go all guns blazing against Arsenal? Do you think any team in Premier League are, so to speak, dumb enough to go all-out attack or just directly attack to Arsenal? There isn't such a team. Unless that team has a bit more quality, they can take the game to us, but they definitely are not going to do it. Arsenal deserve it, but yeah, there is still to wait. We have to prove. We have to earn it. At the end of the day, the team that deserves it more doesn't always get it. You have to earn it. It does not matter if you deserve it or not. You have to earn it on the pitch and also in real life. West Ham don't attack. One corner, Mavropanos, 1-0, and that's going to be scary hours, panic, scary movie settings. City is cold-blooded to maximum degree. Damn, I want to change my prediction. To what? That's crazy how Villa playing the Europa League final before last Prem game. Yeah, it's actually insane. Something I didn't expect at all. Like, for me personally, it should be Conference League, then Europa League, the final, and the Champions League. Like, you kind of build yourself up to the big one. But somehow this year it's Europa League, then it's Conference League, and then it's Champions League. It's hella weird. It's such a weird thing, to be honest, as well. Europa League final is in 11 days. 11 days Europa League final is played at. In 11. Like, it's literally a week and a half away. Where is the time rushing to? PSG want Martinelli, sure. Where? Where is this? Until it happens, I don't see it. Seriously, until it happens, I don't believe it. Don't believe everything you hear. Arsenal must start fast, win the game in the first half. True. For me personally, Arsenal must score in the first 10-15 minutes. If they don't, it could become scary, because the longer it stays a draw, the more it's going to favor West Ham. Because one random bounce, one random tackle, one random penalty, handball, as we saw with the Ben White situation against Atletico Madrid, and it could all come quickly crashing and burning down. Come on, Freiburg. I don't think Freiburg stand too many chances. Let's just put it that way against Aston Villa. All the European finals should have been after the end of the domestic season, because it should be, but it's not. As someone else said, if here Arsenal must win it in the first half. Exactly. Arsenal must win in the first half. EPL index. That's like my third cousin's goldfish trust, brother. People saying Freiburg have no chance. Those teams are teams that cause an upset. Yeah, I know. 100% for me personally. I don't see Freiburg beating Aston Villa personally, because let's be real. Unai Emery owns Europa League, in my opinion. Winning it 3 or 4 times in a row, 3 times an overall, like with different teams, with Sevilla, Villarreal, and everything, beating Arsenal on the way, like it's definitely going to be a rough one. In the first bit, yeah, exactly. I don't like Willow Birmingham. Damn. Big up Animal Shirts. More pressure. I fear the game West Ham. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be hell on earth. 100%. City are one of the dirtiest teams I've ever watched. That Bernardo is some character. True. Yeah, big up Hardscope. Big up. Yeah. Bernardo Silva he always pulls some weird juju during the games. He also pulled down Beto or Barry last week against Everton, and Everton should have gotten a penalty for that, and they didn't. He should have he should have been sent off against Arsenal as well. It's like when we played Chelsea and they had Jorginho, same type of crap, basically. He's one of those. Why the Wizards slander? Is there anything good about them at the moment? Wasn't people saying Freiburg have no chance to... Like, as much as I watch Champions League, fucking hell, Bundesliga and everything, Freiburg are a somewhat decent team. Don't get me wrong, but against Emery, his experience, his pedigree, the way he sets up teams and how he basically scouts ins and outs of those teams and how he basically prepares them for these type of games, I'm still leaning towards Emery very heavily. It would be fantastic if Freiburg won it. It would be fantastic for Freiburg. It also would be fantastic to see Aston Villa finally get some glory as well. There's also a possibility, if stars align, so to speak, that all three Premier League teams can win all three big trophies this season in Europe. 117 charges. Tomorrow, either Arsenal or West Ham is gone, but in a different ways. To be honest, it could be both. If they draw, it's the worst case scenario for Arsenal because City can overtake us like that against Crystal Palace, and then it's going to be hell on earth. And for West Ham, the draw is the worst case scenario as well because if Spurs beat Leeds on Monday, sayonara. The draw in that game arguably is the worst case scenario for both teams at the same time. Obviously, losing for one of them is the worst case just for one, but draw is for both. Arsenal going to win tomorrow, simple as that. Bank 3 in top to help the goal. Exactly. We need also to basically boost the goal difference. That is also a big thing we must do. I wasn't saying about Eurobike. It's all good. Spurs must be rooting for Arsenal in the first time. I don't think so. Like, from what I have seen Spurs fans saying, they are very, very conflicted about this situation. Very damn conflicted. Ultimately, tomorrow is the decider, so to speak. Yeah, so to speak. Perfect end of the season would be Spurs getting relegated, Arsenal winning the Prem and watching Pep go out with his towel between his legs. It would, but you know how these things are. The perfect scenarios never become true. Unfortunately, it's usually some sort of there's always some sick twist and everything that turns everything upside down on its head that nobody expected, like plot twist, and then it causes havoc, chaos, and everything just bursts into flames. The positive is Arsenal are in form, but must win the game. Yeah, the positive is we are in form, but we must. There is no other ways. We must. 20 likes if you... Yeah, people, 20 likes. If you haven't already, people, smash the likes. Subscribe if you're new as well. You have been phenomenal today. Much love, people. Thank you for being here. Thank you for support and everything. You have been phenomenal, to say the least, as well. But on that note, I'm going to end today's stream. Big up, everyone. I'm going to redirect you to Jez is Arsenal. Big up the Godfather. I'm going to redirect you to Jez's channel. Drop some love. Latvian Gunnar Red in the chat. Of course, subscribe to him. Hopefully, I'm going to see you all tomorrow after the game, because tomorrow it could be a very interesting stream depending on the result. So have a nice day. Enjoy football tomorrow. I'm going to see you very, very, very soon.